question is how to attract clients. The $1 million question, right? It's not an easy question to answer, to be honest. And I want to start this video by sharing some of the pitfalls and some of the hurdles that I've had to overcome on my journey, because I'm sure that they're going to resonate with you. The first thing that I would urge each and every one of you, please, I would urge each and every one of you to really pay attention to, because it's very, very prevalent in the wellness space, are people who are advertising their services to help support the growth of your business. I hear these types of claims all the time. You know, 6-figure monthly income levels are, arrived at after 2 months of working with these people, or, the coaches that you might be looking to hire have turned their own wellness practice into a 7-figure, career path after just 6 months, and so on and so forth. The old adage here obviously rings true, right? That if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't, right? So, and I'm saying this at the beginning here because I've been tempted by some of these. I'm not saying that any of these people are bad. I'm not trying to say that in the slightest. I'm saying that the claims are dubious, and the verbiage that is being used here is, in my opinion, deceptive, because you're targeting, or these individuals are targeting, people who are vulnerable, who are struggling to get their business off the ground, who are, really maybe feeling like they're spinning their tires and they can't attract these clients, and so on, right? And so the comments or the statements of, 6-figure income monthly, sales, and 100% growth every week, or whatever, like there's claims like this made all over the place. I'm sure a lot of you watching have seen these claims. I'm sure you have, right? So I get that feeling. I so sincerely get that feeling when the months just kind of continue on and it's really difficult to get clients and it doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere and you're really struggling, and so on and so forth. There's no magic wand to be waved for you to get your clients, right? It might not be the the thing that you want to hear. It might not be the most encouraging opening statement to this video, but it's the truth. It's the simple truth, right? And so if we are going to really work at our ability to attract clients, we have to work on a number of components, I believe, on ourselves, and we have to maintain that work through thick and thin. And it seems like there's a lot more thin than there is thick, right? So when we are starting with this, the first thing that I would really recommend when it comes to the idea of attracting clients, the question I would ask to each and every one of you is, how much are you working on yourself? How much are you working on yourself, right? How much are you bringing the practice in? How much are you honestly, sincerely, and courageously attacking the resistance that's inside of each and every one of us? That resistance is ripe, it's strong, at least I can say from my perspective. The self-doubt, the questioning, the nervousness, the feeling of inadequacies, like all of the things that are going to challenge you when you start standing on your own 2 feet and start making a career of your Reiki or your holistic wellness practice. As you start to stand on your 2 feet, everything's going to challenge you, right? And so you really need to solidify the internal environment. So daily self-work, right? Daily self-practice. Maybe seeing psychologists or psychotherapists. Maybe getting some honest coaching. Not the type of coaching that I was talking about at the beginning, where people are going to, be able to promise, 6-figure months and stuff. I would avoid that type of coaching because it never pans out. Honest coaching meaning, can you walk with somebody into the self, into yourself, to find the friction, right? Find the resistance, find the lack of belief, the lack of courage, whatever it might be, right? Self-work, daily self-work. If you're not doing that, nothing else is going to come into focus and nothing else is going to come into play, because any little sparks that might be catching, right, are immediately going to be put out because our internal environment is not ready for that fire to catch light. It's because it's full of doubt and fear and belief, right? So you need to work tirelessly on that. Well, maybe you don't. I mean, maybe you've got all of that figured out. And if you do, that's fantastic. Probably not the case, but if you do have all that sorted, fantastic. But I don't think you're going to find anybody who is being honest anyways that would ever say that they've got themselves sorted out. Even when we feel like we have been working on ourselves, more layers of that resistance is going to come forward, right? More opportunities to heal, more depth, and so on, for us to investigate our own internal environment, right? So once we start to look at the idea of self-work and how much are you working on the self, right? Then other avenues start to open up. Before I jump into those, I just want to say, give you an example. For me, for instance, I would say, without any type of exaggeration, and I'm hesitating here because my days fluctuate, right? Like not every day is the same. But I would say that on any given day, I'm doing at least 1 hour of self-work. Now that might be self-Reiki healing, it might be meditation work, it might be internal journeys, it might be talking with people who can help me understand myself a little bit better, and so on, right? Every single day. Now some days I don't, and then other days I might double up or triple up or whatever, I might go really heavy, right? So I would say consistently that I'm probably doing an hour of work on myself every single day. So what happens if you can't do that? Well, if you can't do that, you got to figure out a way to do it, right? The priorities in life have to be adjusted. If your priority is to start getting to a position where you can attract clients, then you've got to work on yourself first, right? That might mean, taking away a little bit of social time or relaxation time, or figuring out ways to integrate self-work during your breaks at work or whatever it might be, but we've got to have that time set aside, right? Now, second, once you've gone inside, once you're really starting to plow through the resistance, the second thing here, and there's no getting around this, in my opinion anyways, you've got to attack your Reiki career or your holistic wellness career as a full-time job, right? It's not that you're just working in the time that you have with your clients. You're not just sitting there in front of your clients, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the only time that you're working. I'm making this video right now for you, and I'm also making it for myself. This is part of my work. And then I'm gonna have to edit this video and post it and make sure my YouTube channel is growing and all of that stuff, right? All of the stuff. There's so much stuff. All of the stuff that goes into creating a brand or a business is super important, right? So that really needs to be treated like a full-time job. And in that trajectory or in that growth within that full-time commitment to the creation of your story or your brand, don't be discouraged when you recognize that there needs to be a new iteration of yourself, right? I mean, for me, for instance, currently it's RootsofLife.org. I think that's where I'm going to stay, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to stay. I'm very happy with that. It started out as Reiki and Meditation.com, I think it was, or .org, can't remember. And I was like, oh, that's the perfect name. It's going to be great, whatever. That's so bland. It says nothing. It's just like, it might as well just be vanilla and neutral. Like, it's the most, I think, bland, like, here's what you're getting. So it didn't have any punch. I got so excited about that, though. I designed the logo. I designed all the courses, designed everything right around that. And then I realized that I needed to change it. I was living in Hong Kong at the time, and so I changed from Reiki and Meditation to brucechi.org. And To me, I was like, oh, that's super witty. I'm going to change it to Bruce Chi, like Bruce Lee and the movement of energy. My name's Bruce, so Bruce Chi. Get it? Nobody got it. Nobody got it. And it took me a long time to recognize that nobody got it, right? So I had to make another iteration of myself and to make another website and another logo and another this, and this, right? I've redesigned my courses. I've reshot all of my course videos. I've made my course manuals and revamped them and re-edited them more times than I care to think. I'm glad I can't remember actually, because it might be a little bit overwhelming. I'm saying all of this because every aspect of your career and attracting clients is part of the full-time job, right? If you're not putting in the long yards and the big effort day in and day out, then you won't get that last tiny little inch or centimeter to score the goal or to achieve the goal, I guess I should say, which is connecting with a new client, right? It's not about connecting to the client. It's about how much have you done to get in front of the potential client? How much work have you put into it, right? And so I'll just give some pointers on that very quickly. When we're crafting a brand, we need to be conscious of things like the logo, the site design, our image that we're creating, our social media presence, right? We need to be conscious of our studio, the way that we present ourselves, the clothing we wear, how presentable we look, right? Are you exuding an energy that is going to be attractive to potential clients? Or are you presenting yourself in a way that is going to help suggest to those clients that they should seek somebody else? It's their hard-earned money and their valuable time that they are looking to invest, hopefully, in you. So you need to put your best everything forward, right? And that doesn't just mean image. That means your trainings. That means your depth of training, right? It means your depth of understanding of the practice of Reiki or holistic wellness. And by that, what do I mean? What I mean by this is this. When you have, let's say, 10 clients, right? Can you answer the questions of the most skeptical, the most evasive, the most introspective, the most well-versed of those 10 clients? Can you answer them with confidence, with poise, and with depth, right? Again, I'm speaking from personal history here. Early in my career, when I was leading meditations and Reiki sessions indeed as well, there were a number of times where I was leading big groups in Hong Kong and people would ask questions and I couldn't answer them. It's not that I couldn't answer them on the spot. It was that I didn't know the answer to the question at all. Now, that's not necessarily a problem, right? However, what it made me realize is that if my depth of understanding is not solid enough and strong enough and deep enough, right, to be able to approach as many of these questions as possible, hopefully anyways, with my background and my understanding of my practices, then when I'm faced with those questions in those groups, I've got maybe 20 people watching me as to how I'm going to respond. If you knock those questions and those responses out of the park, not from ego and belief and delusion, but from solid grounding, non-attachment, non-duality, humble responses, and so on. If you show that you're a compassionate leader in your space, then those 20 people are going to be more likely to work with you. If you're guided from, belief or the ego, pretense, we see this all the time in the holistic space, right? People who are giving themselves new names or that think they're channeling things and all this like really kind of bravado type stuff, right? If that's where you are, then in my opinion, you're going to attract some, but also push some away, right? So why not work to be solidly confident, strong in your practice, and neutral in your approach so that everybody would be attracted to you? Now, all of that All of that world, all of the things that I'm mentioning there, make up your full-time job in crafting your understanding, your story, your business, your persona, and your ethos when it comes to your wellness practice. If those things aren't on point, then you're going to lose clients or you're not going to connect to potential clients. And so, in thinking about these ideas, I know that it can become a daunting proposition. And I know firsthand, very honestly, that this is a difficult road, right? I think if we can recognize that this is a difficult road, and I think if we can meet that difficult road, understanding that there will be challenges, then I think we can actually make progress on the road, right? At least for me on my journey, I didn't necessarily recognize how difficult the road would be. And when I was starting on that journey, there were more than enough people who were there to help sell me the idea of an easy voyage or an easy journey, right? I'm glad I didn't go with any of them because my hard-earned money would have probably gone to waste. But here I am still going, every day still working. This is my full-time job, right? So every day I'm putting in probably 5 to 8 hours at least on my site, on the videos, on my social, on my manuals and my courses and so on, and then allocating further time to my clients. All of that needs to be in place first. The clients are the very last little bit of that journey, right? When you're holding space for your clients, that's the last or the culmination of all of your efforts. So I think that's how you attract, and I think that's how you at least can best get an idea of what it is you might need to consider and what you might need to internalize when it comes to attracting clients in your holistic wellness or your Reiki practice. I do hope that helps. I hope the honesty of this video and kind of the rawness of this video helps as well. I'm putting it in here because I don't really see it anywhere else, and I wish I had, right? I wish that I had, 8 years ago, somebody to just pull me aside and be like, hey, listen, Bruce, like, this is going to be a long, tough journey, and you're going to have to do a lot of work that you're not necessarily even considering at the moment. It's all going to be presented to you, and you're going to have the courage to do that work. The question is, are you going to do that work, right? So I hope that helps. If it helps, and if you want assistance, reach out to me, right? No hyperbole, no grandiose promises of fields of gold and 6-figure monthly incomes coming in immediately. No ridiculously worded texts. None of that stuff. None of the pretense and the hyperbole. If you need help walking with somebody who is going through this and has been through it and has been developing a business now for many, many, many years, reach out to me via RootsofLife.org or put in the comments here below this video. I would be very happy to talk with you and help you on your journey. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for your support on my channel here on YouTube. If you found this video to be, supportive of your journey or helping you to understand some of the questions that were posed on how to attract clients, let me know in the comments below. And I'm always so appreciative of any support of the channel by a subscription and hitting that icon button to be notified of my upcoming video releases. As always, everybody, be well and in Gassho to all.